for part 2 of the Diocese of Wheeling and Charleston, West Virginia, policies relating to child sexual abuse. Started off like I always do, with a rip and a sip, because we'll fucking need it on this one. Shit's pretty infuriating. So yeah, let's get into it. I left off last time at section 7, specific procedures of reporting child sexual abuse. So here we go. Specific procedures. The response to these allegations is managed through several channels, which include, now these several channels, what are they doing? They are dissipating this direct accusation of someone violated a child. Instead of that hitting directly to law enforcement officers, it gets dissipated out, spread out into these steps. The response to the allegations is managed through several channels, which include the process administrator, which I covered before, an examiner with parentheses S, examiner, examiners of the facts. Never mind, how do we know these are facts? How have we determined these are facts? Did we use our magic book and rub a crystal in our armpit? How did we do it? Did we use an attorney or what the fuck? Nah, don't worry about that. Victim's assistant coordinator. Sounds like that will be someone coaching the victim or, leaning it toward the favor of the church. An independent diocesan review board. That's not independent if it's a diocesan review board. That is an oxymoron. It is not an independent review board that is independent of the diocese. It's a diocese review board made up of people of the diocese. Diocesan director of communications. It's all in-house. This is all in-house bullshit. 7.1. Upon receiving a report of alleged child sexual abuse committed by a lay employee, volunteer, clergy, or religious sister or brother, an examiners is selected by the process administrator. The examiner arranges to meet with the person making the report or complaint and others who may have relevant information, and report the results of the investigation to the process administrator and the diocese review board with due diligence. It's like, who do they think is in charge of this? They're just delegating all this shit out to other people and saying, okay, you report it to this person, this person, this person, and this person, and they will all report it to these people, and then they will all report it to these people, and then they'll all determine while we're doing all this reporting, instead of just calling the police. You call the police. Shit. Okay. The examiners interview all appropriate persons and gathers relevant information to obtain as clear and detailed a statement about the allegation as possible. The examiner will be chosen based on experience and or training to respond to cases of child sexual abuse. Ongoing education and training will be provided. So they're saying they're gonna provide you shit ongoing when it happens. That doesn't strike you as a problem. If the accused is a religious or a cleric, what the fuck does that mean? If the accused is a religious, maybe they just mean, I don't know what they mean. Or a cleric from another diocese the investigation is conducted with notification made to the appropriate superior bishop. So I would imagine all those steps of all those people, that would then be doubled, because they would have another diocese involved. If that congregant that did the molestation came from another church, they would have another set of those people, and that would muddy the waters even further. Okay, additionally, a victim's assistant coordinator is selected by the process administrator, so the victim don't even get to choose. A victim's assistant coordinator is selected by the process administrator. So if you got a bad process administrator, you're screwed. To provide care and assistance to the alleged victims, they're calling them alleged still, and their families, as if applicable members, and if applicable if applicable members of the affected church community. Appropriate pastoral care will also be offered to the accused. To the person that did the molesting, they're going to say, oh, well, we'll offer you some pastoral care. You offer them some handcuffs and some bars to be behind, is what you offer them. And you tell them you did wrong, and now you will be punished for your wrongdoing. The victim's assistant coordinator will be selected from among those persons who have received training to respond to cases of child sexual abuse. The victim's assistant coordinator reports to the process administrator and the diocesan review board with due diligence. An independent diocesan review board, once again, not independent. Independent of what? What are they? Is convened by the process administrator. It's all in-house. This is not independent. The process administrator is involved in all this shit. There's no, yeah. The diocesan review board members are appointed by the bishop and make up an independent body composed of laity, Laity, and clergy. None are employed in diocesan central administration. The members of the diocesan review board are selected on the basis of their maturity. Who determines that? Credibility. Who determines that? And ability to exercise independent judgment. Like, that is insane. They're just letting dipshits in the church say, oh, I got a magic feeling in my heart and belly and soul that old Joey wouldn't touch a little boy like that little boy said that he touched him. The mandate of the Diocesan Review Board includes acting as overseer of the diocese handling of all such cases to assure the integrity, that's not what you're doing, of the diocesan process for responding to reports, making recommendations to the bishop concerning all factors involved in the report. In every case, upon receipt of allegations, meeting to review reports of child sexual abuse by employees and volunteers, actions taken by the diocese, the examination findings, and other relevant information. In the event that any employee or volunteer of the diocese admits guilt or pleads no contest in allegation of child sexual abuse, the Diocesan Review Board shall, and then it lists, confirm the diocese has taken appropriate steps to remove the person from access to minors. Not call the cops and send them to jail. Just make sure that we think that they can't get the kids anymore. Confirm that. Yeah, okay. Furthermore, make recommendation to the bishop regarding the cleric's exercise of any form of ministry to the future, along with other restrictions or conditions which are appropriate or required. Call the police. Don't do any of this. Call the police. Confirm the diocese has immediately terminated the person from employment or any position, responsibility of responsibility with the diocese. In the event that the employee or volunteer of the diocese does not admit guilt, but the Diocesan Review Board determines there exists reasonable probability regarding the substance of the allegations, the board may recommend to the bishop that the accused may to be removed immediately from a position of access to minors while the investigation continues. Oh, they'll just continue it. Call the cops. In such case where the cleric is involved, 7.6.2 above in these little, they got them all little numbered there. It's referring you to that shit. In the case of lay employees, they are suspended with pay while the investigation continues. Horrible, horrible, garbage, trash people. In the case of lay employees, they are suspended with pay, blah, blah, blah. When the alleged child sexual abuse is purported to have occurred in the distant past, and it has been determined that reasonable probability exists regarding the substance of the allegation, the Diocese Review Board follows the same procedures as in the report that is alleged to have occurred in the present time. If the alleged perpetrator is deceased, the Diocesan Review Board is kept informed of the report and makes any appropriate recommendations to the bishop. I don't know what that means. When the employee is found guilty of child sexual abuse, the Diocesan Review Board will invoke 7.6.2 and 7.6.3 as appropriate. If the investigation of the allegation results in a finding by protective services or the Diocesan Review Board that the allegation of sexual misconduct by clergy, religious seminarians, employees, or volunteers of the diocese involving a minor is not substantiated, the Diocesan Review Board will recommend that the bishop and the process administrator will inform the accused of the findings and confirm such findings in writing, inform the alleged victim and / his/her family of the findings, promptly terminate any temporary action taken against the accused, restore the ministerial status of the person, taking into account if the needed for healing. If the bishop determines that the cleric cannot be returned to the ministry, he may ask the cleric to resign or take a leave of absence from the active ministry or to request a dispensation from holy orders, or the bishop may initiate a canonical process for removal from ministry, which means magic book, magic people, magic pope, magic hat, and magic. The accused person's personnel file is documented by the process administrator to reflect the complaint and the investigation and the results with due regard to the reputation and to the reputation and the right to privacy of the accused. Very focused on reputation. Supervision procedures. Have adequate number of adults present at events involving children and youth. Just an adequate number of adults. What if those adults are abusing children? Have 2 or more adults present for events involving children or youth at higher risk settings. Means nothing. This means nothing. Monitor your facilities during church services and all school or other activities. Means nothing. Release children only to a parent or guardian. What if the parent or guardian is molesting the children? Obtain parental permission, including a signed medical treatment form, before taking children or youth on trips. Always obtain parental approval before permitting any minor to participate in athletic events or other activities involving potential risks. Have minors, how about just eliminate potential risks? Have minors use a buddy system whenever they go on trips away from church property. You're probably safer away from church property. All adult leadership and sponsors for any overnight activity should be approved by the appropriate administrator. How about no overnight activities with any administrators with any kids? How about no? Behavioral guidelines for working with children or youth. All clergy, staff, and volunteers of the diocese will observe the following guidelines. No minor child may be an overnight guest or reside in any church rectory or other living quarters of priests. Good. Do not provide minors with alcoholic beverages, tobacco, drugs, or anything that is prohibited by law. Do not serve as a chaperone for activities that conflict with curfew laws pertaining to minors. Touching should be age appropriate. There should be no touching. Touching should be age appropriate and based on the need of the minor and not the need of the adult. Yes. If the kid falls down, needs helped up, yes, by all means, help them up. Avoid physical contact when alone with the minor, yes. If a minor initiates physical contact, an appropriate limited response is proper. So, yeah, push them off, or, hey, this is no good. Because not all these priests are going to be horrible people, but looks like quite a bit of them are, according to reports and convictions. Do not sleep in the same bed with a minor. Holy fuck, they have to tell them this. If an adult supervisor stays in a hotel or other sleeping room with a group of minors, the supervisor should sleep in his or own bed using a rollaway or a cot if necessary. Topics, vocabulary, recordings, films, games, or the use of computer software or other form of personal interaction or entertainment that could not be used comfortably in the presence of parents should not be employed with minors. Sexually explicit or pornographic material is never appropriate. Wrong. It is appropriate. You can watch pornography by yourself away from minors and interact with yourself accordingly just fine. That's okay. Don't be ashamed of that. Do not, however, force anything upon anyone that can't consent enthusiastically. You sickos. Do not administer medication of any kind without written parental permission. Yeah, how about no medication unless if it's over the counter parental permission, but it should be in conjunction with a pharmacy, a prescription slip, doctor's note, final page. If you recognize inappropriate personal or physical attraction developing between yourself and a minor, maintain clear professional boundaries between yourself and the minor, or refer the minor to another adult supervisor. No! If you recognize that you are attracted to minors, you need to go seek medical help. You need to go get mental help. Report yourself to authorities. If one-on-one pastoral care of a minor should be necessary, avoid meeting in isolated environments, schedule meetings at times, and use locations that create accountability. Limit both the length and number of sessions and make appropriate referrals. Notify parents of the meetings. Do not give minors keys to church facilities. If a minor has a key as a result of being a church employee or volunteer, the minor should be properly screened. No. Do not drive a church or school vehicle unless you have received prior authorization and have appropriate license or certification. Do not permit minors to cross a road by themselves while they are in your custodial care. Good. Do not take photographs of minors while they are unclothed or undressing. Don't be taking photographs of the minors. If they're not your kids, don't be fucking taking pictures of them. If you observe anyone, adult or minor, abusing a minor, take appropriate. If you observe anyone abusing a minor, grab the abuser up and physically remove them and call authorities. Take appropriate steps to immediately intervene and provide a safe environment for the minor. Report all the misconduct. See obligation to report. And there's There's their crap, their number, and bullshit. What's my time? Oh man, we're running high. So I'm going to wrap this one up. I wanted to bullshit a little bit more on it, but there you have it. The poison of the Catholic Church as expressed by their policy on what you should do with reporting child sexual abuse in the Catholic Church. Basically muddy the waters with all their different little multi-level people that you report it to, and hope that it doesn't make it out of that net of people out into the actual authorities to where they can punish you and put you in prison where you belong. Till next time, peace out. Once again, call the cops. If you have anything that ever happens that these people were talking about, call the cops on them. They're human beings. They are not pipelines to the holy divine. Call the police on them. Have them put in prison. Peace out.